Okay, so now we have all my base products, primers, powders, concealers, liquid illuminators, foundations, all just kind of lumped in together. Most of the powders and concealers used to fit in the same drawer. This drawer has now been taken over mostly by powders, and concealers have ended up in a little side container, and foundation and everything else pretty much takes up the entire top space of the clear cube. So yeah, we're going to try and condense it a bit because this is stupidly excessive. So I'm going to start with primers. Just get those sorted out first. Okay, so here we are with the primers. I already know some of the ones I want to get rid of. I want to get rid of the MAC Matte and the MAC Refine Zone. And I also want to get rid of the Smashbox Photo Matte Anti-Shine, because I just don't really use them, not even on clients, to be honest. I'm going to keep the Pore Minimizing, see how that is, and the Smashbox Photo Finish Radiance Primer, and see how they are. I have 2 samples of the Clarins Instant Smooth Perfecting Primer, so I'm going to keep those guys. And the Beauty Flash Balm. I like having little samples of this. I can never go through a full size one, so I'm going to keep the little sample. I've also got a little sample of the Genuine Glow from Estee Lauder, so I'm going to keep hold of that guy. I'm in the process of finishing up the MAC Prep and Prime, so I'm going to keep going with that until it's done. The La Base Pro I mostly use on clients, so I'm going to keep that separate. The first light priming filter from Becca I haven't actually tried, so I am going to keep hold of that. And then we have the backlight priming filter, which I love. I've gone through an entire sample of it. I've already gone through a good chunk of this. Again, I also use it on clients, so I'm going to keep hold of this guy. We have the Hourglass Ambient Primer. Not the biggest fan of it, but I am going to use it up. I quite like the Radiance Primer from Laura Mercier, so I'm going to keep that guy. The Smooth Miracle Primer from Max Factor, I'm going to keep this guy because it's I want to compare it to the Clarins one and the Pore Minimizer from Smashbox. So I'm going to keep hold of this guy for a little while, and I also want to compare it more to the Prep and Prime as well. The Infallible, I don't think I've actually used. I'm going to keep it and give it a bash and see what I think of it. But yeah. We have the Lasting Finish Primer from Rimmel. I think this is a new tube. It is open. I can't remember if they come with a little sticky seal or not. But it's pretty full. But I think I'm going to pass this on because I do have all this primer to go through. So I'm going to pass this on to someone else. We have the Facefinity Primer, which is my favourite primer. Or at least it was until I tried the Backlight Primer Filter. That is my favourite primer. But this is my favourite drugstore primer. Love this stuff so much. I've gone through like 3 or 4 bottles of this. So I'm going to keep hold of it. So that is a grand total of 4 primers that I'm getting rid of. Not amazing, but you know, I go through primers quite quickly. So, yeah. So I forgot a primer. This is the YSL All Hours primer. It's a fairly recent purchase. I've only used it a couple of times, so I'm still in the process of testing it out, but I like it so far, so I'm going to keep hold of it. Next up we have my concealers. I have a lot of concealer. A couple of things I definitely know I'm getting rid of are these Pro Artist Pro HD Long Wear Concealers. They're from the Freedom range. I have the shade Porcelain and the shade White. I never actually really used the shade Porcelain, and now it's all like separated, which is weird. I've never really had concealer do that to me before. And the white concealer I purchased because I wanted something to lighten foundations, but I now have the NYX Pro foundation mixer, which works fabulously, so I don't need the white. I am also going to be getting rid of a couple of pot concealers, the Pour Paint from 17 and the Lasting Finish from Rimmel. They're just really thick and really heavy, and I've never really used them for much more than like eye bases, and I've got plenty of things to do eye bases with. I'm going to keep hold of the NARS one because I haven't actually had a thorough try of this one, so I'm going to keep hold of it. I will be getting rid of the Pro Longwear concealer because I find it really difficult to work with. Even if you just use like half a pump, it's still way too much for what you need it for. I mean, it's alright, I suppose, if you're pumping it into a separate container and then working from that container for the next couple of days, or if you're doing multiple people at once, but it's an added bit of hassle that I don't need in my life. And I've had this concealer quite a while as well. I'll just check the date on it. It was a 2013 purchase, so yeah, getting rid of that guy. I have a few of these old style Touche Magiques. This is what they now come in. They come in this gorgeous, like, sleek silver packaging. So we have a natural beige, which was way too dark for what I bought it for. I bought it for a client and it was still too dark, and that was a long time ago, so we need to get rid of that one. And just generally, these are old, so I'm just going to get rid of them. I'm not even going to justify why I'm getting rid of them. They're old. They're going. I will, however, be keeping hold of the new ones. I have 2 rose beige and 1 ivory beige. The rose beige a bit more pink, the ivory beige a bit more yellow, so I'm going to keep hold of those guys. The Revlon HD Photo Ready concealer, again, it's quite thick and it's a bit dark for my skin. I just don't really like stick concealers all that much. I'm very much a liquid concealer kind of person, so I'm going to get rid of this guy. I'm going to get rid of this number 7 concealer because I don't like it at all. It's the Instant Radiance concealer and it's very, very sheer. Like, it doesn't really do much. I think it's actually dried out. Anyway, oh no, there's still some in it. It's very much like the original Touche Magique. It's more for a brightening effect than anything else. It doesn't really, I say brightening, it doesn't even really brighten. It's just kind of there and it fades away really quickly. So I'm just going to get rid of it. Same with the Revlon Color Stay Concealer. I liked this, but I've had it for a very long time. So I'm just going to pass it off to the bin. I'm going to keep my Aqua Luminous and my Naked Skin Concealers. Aqua Luminous is from Becca, Naked from Urban Decay. Love them both. Going to keep the Smashbox Studio Skin Concealer and the HD Skin Concealer. I love the HD. I actually haven't had a chance to try out the Studio Skin for, I think I've used it maybe once or twice, but I would like to try out more. The HD, Ultra HD from Makeup Forever, I love. Same with the Clinique. I use this both on myself and on clients. This is the All About Eyes concealer, and it's more of a corrector than a concealer. It's in the shade Light Neutral, and it is perfect for neutralizing darkness, particularly in lighter skin tones. Love it so, so much. I have these guys. I have the Gotcha Covered from NYX and the Long Tenue Long Lasting Softening Concealer from Lancome. They're kind of like dupes of each other, to be honest. This is why I'm getting rid of the pot concealers, because if I need a heavy duty concealer, I prefer these guys. These are more of like a cream than, well, the ones in the pot are obviously like a cream, but these are thicker than a liquid, but they're certainly not as heavy as a pot concealer, and they're high coverage, long wearing, they blend out beautifully, and they're much easier to work with than digging out of a jar. So yeah, keeping these guys. I'm getting rid of this one from Maybelline. It's the, I can't even see what it says, Dream Brightening Creamy Concealer. And I bought this for like touch-ups, and it's just, it kind of just blends away into nothing, to be honest. It's not that great. So we're just gonna get rid of that guy. The Max Factor concealers, I'm gonna keep and finish up. And then I probably won't purchase them again. I don't know why it is. They just don't really do much. They conceal. They don't really brighten. I don't know. They're just very bog standard. There's nothing impressive about them. But they do the job. I have two from NARS. The blah 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 blah. What are you called? Creamy, radiant creamy. I can't even tell. Oh, it's on the side. Moron. Radiant creamy concealers. I have one in vanilla and one in chantilly. So I'm going to keep both of those. I have 3 of the Tarte Shape Tapes. I mostly use these on clients. Occasionally I will use one on myself. But I really, really enjoy them. I have them in Fair Neutral, Fair Beige and Light. And they work a treat, particularly for the skin tones I mostly work with. They're amazing. The Too Faced Born This Way concealer, again, I love. The Laura Mercier Candle Glow concealer, yeah, Candle Glow concealer and highlighter. It's very much like a Touche Magique kind of deal. Again, it's more of a brightener than really a concealer. It's great for if you want to do sort of natural makeup and you want something for under the eyes, but you don't want anything too heavy, this stuff's really good. But I really hate this applicator. Like, I hate it with a passion. If it had been a brush tip, I would have been happy. This is horrendous. I swear most of the product just kind of gets stuck in there and then dries out. I get that it's probably there to stop you applying too much at one time, but, you know, I'm a big girl. I can apply the right amount of product. I don't need a company to withhold product from me. As much as I like it, unless they change that to a brush tip, I will probably not repurchase that again. I have 2 from the True Match range from L'Oreal. I have the shades 1 in Ivory and 1 RC Rose Ivory. I like them, but I think they sting my eyes a bit. I will have to try them out a little bit more. And just, because it could have just been my eyes those days, you know. I could have just had sensitive eyes. But I will try them again and see what I think. But if they do actually irritate my eyes, I'm going to get rid of them. And lastly for the concealers is the YSL All Hours Concealer, which I love. This is everything that I thought the Pro Longwear concealer would be. It is really good coverage, really long wearing, blends beautifully into the skin. I know I'm just swatching concealer on my hand. Wow. So fascinating. But yeah, so I'm going to keep that guy. Okay, so I'm getting rid of 12 concealers. That's more concealer than any one person should own. And I've got all this left over. Jeepers, we're all got issues. Okay, so next up I have my illuminators. I believe this is all of them. Have a quick scan about. Yep, this is them. Yep, this is all of them. So I have my 2 matte cream colour bases. I have one in Luna and one in Hush. And I haven't opened either of them. So I'm going to keep hold of these guys. I will be getting rid of all 3 Revlon Photo Ready Skin Lights. I love these. I hope they bring them back. But these have been discontinued for well over a year now. So I'm going to pass them on to a couple of friends who may want them. This one hasn't even been opened, to be honest. This is in Bare Lights. I think I've had it open maybe to swatch it, and that's about it. But yeah, so we're getting rid of those three. I have my little sample of strobe cream, which I will keep. I have my big bottle of strobe cream. This is in Peach Light. I'm definitely going to keep that. I have my little sample of Becca Moonstone and my larger sample of Becca Moonstone. Again, I'm going to keep those, guys. I'm going to get rid of 17 Skin Wow because, you know, I've got all this going. I don't need this also. The Skin Illuminator in Nude from number 7. I'm going to keep hold of this guy. The Ultra Strobe Cream from Makeup Revolution. I don't know about this. It's a huge bottle. There's 50 ml in it. It's massive. It's got the same amount of product in it as the strobe cream from MAC. But this has like a really strong gold iridescence, but it also has quite a bit of a white cast to it. I don't know. Oh, the smell reminds me of something yummy though. It reminds me of like a shampoo or something that I had as a child that I loved. Oh, that's weird. I mean, it looks really nice when it's blending into the skin. I'll keep it for a bit longer and see how we get on with it. So I'm getting rid of 4 liquid illuminators and keeping the rest. Powder, because I have so much freaking powder. It's redonkulous. And I already see things I want to get rid of. These two are the Sue Devitt Triple Seaweed Loose Powder in Quiet and Still. I got these from TK Maxx not long after Sue Devitt went bust. They're gorgeous powders. They're really, really nice. The seaweed in it gives it like an oil absorbing property. It's great for combo skin, but I don't use it. I bought 4 jars of it originally and I've given 2 away. So yeah, I don't need to keep hold of these guys. I'm going to pass them on to other people. I'm also getting rid of this guy. I had this in my Project 10 pan back in June and I hate the fact that this is coloured. I should really tell you what it is. It's the Perfect Light Loose Powder from number 7. And it's in the shade... Oh, Christ, what is going on with this thing? Oh, the lid wasn't on properly. Oh, feck. So yeah, as you can see, it's tinted. It's got like a... It doesn't seem so bad when you blend it out, but when I put it on my skin, it gets a bit of like an orange cast and it oxidizes during the day. I have the shades in translucent that I prefer over this, so I'm going to get rid of this guy. Just give me a second to clean this up. So as I said, I do have translucent versions of this. One of them is my personal and one of them I keep in my kit. So I'm keeping hold of those guys. This I'm going to get rid of. It's the Bare Minerals Well Rested. It's supposed to be an under eye brightener. Every time I've used it, I've never gotten on with it. So I'm just going to pass that along. Cream Puff Powder from Max Factor in the shade Fairly Light. No, Truly Light. Sorry. No, Truly Fair. 3rd time lucky, like. But yeah, it's a very highly perfumed, like, pressed foundation powder, or powder foundation, I should say. It's really nice. I would highly recommend it. You get a lot of product for your money. If you're looking for a powder foundation from the drugstore, I would totally recommend Max Factor. Just generally, Max Factor based products are good. They're really good. They're like workhorse products. You're not going to be getting anything majorly astounding, nothing groundbreaking, but if you're looking for good workhorse everyday products, this is a brand to go to. But I've had this powder for a very, very long time. I don't reach for it, so I am going to get rid of it for just now. I can always buy a new one when I want one. I'm going to get rid of this L'Oreal powder. It's the, what are you even called? I don't even know what it's called. It's in the shade 2 Rose. And it's an illuminating powder which mattifies, highlights, and gives a radiant glow. It came with like a shimmery overspray, which just put me off completely. And I've just not used it since. So I'm just going to get rid of it. That's the end of it. We have my NYX No Filter powder, which I'm currently trying to finish up. I haven't got a lot left of it. It's alright. It reminds me a lot of the MAC Mineralized Skin Finish. But yeah, so I'll keep hold of that one so I can finish it up. Same with the Cream Touch powder from number 7. I'm trying to finish this guy up, and I have an unopened one. There we go. We have the Matte Maker powder from Maybelline. It's very similar to the Cream Touch powder, so I will keep hold of that guy. The Laura Mercier Secret Brightening powder. Everybody has heard of this stuff. It's like a silica powder with some sheen through it. Perfect for brightening the under eye. Or as like a light dusting all over as a set. Or as like a finishing powder. So I'm going to keep hold of this guy. Laura Mercier powder, mineral powder in shade Soft Porcelain. There's not a lot left of it, so I am just going to try it and finish it up. It's great for days on when I don't really want to wear a lot of makeup, but I need a bit of colour on my face. Go for this guy. My Ben Nye powders I am going to keep hold of. They are a bit of a pain, but I like them and I like what they do on the skin. I have Super White, Buff, Pretty Pink, and Rose Petal. Super White is perfect for around where I work, on skin tones I work on, because a lot of them are very pale girls and you're looking for something brightening to set under the eye. Super White is the thing, because I work with like the whitest of white girls. So it's really handy to have this guy kicking about. And then we have things like Rose Petal that are more of have a bit more of a peachy pink to it. And Buff, and they're perfect for brightening more sallow skins. And Pretty Pink just is a nice sort of finishing powder. So keeping those guys, that was a bit of a ramble, I do apologise. While we're talking about loose powders, I have this one from Clarins. It's in the shade 3 Dark, which isn't very, very dark at all. But the shade it comes in is very, very brightening. It's perfect for again, brightening sallow skins. It has a nice tint to it. It's not something I would use all the time, but the peachiness to it is perfect. Sometimes when you're working with more mature clients, while they may be very pale, they can also have like a greyness to them. And this just peps up the skin a lot. My Sicily powder in the shade 1 Irisy. This is a gorgeous illuminating finishing powder. I love it to pieces. Keeping. My Chanel powder again. Love this. I often take this with me on jobs as well. It just has that touch of luxury, and it's just this finely milled, beautiful powder. It just gives a gorgeous look on the skin. My Estee Lauder translucent powder. This is the Perfecting loose powder, and this is, it's kind of like it's like a silica powder and a regular powder had a baby. It's just got this gorgeous silkiness to it that it doesn't feel like you're using a silica powder. It doesn't dry out the skin as much as silica, but it is beautiful for combo skins if you're just wanting to give the oily areas a little bit extra. Estee Lauder powder. The RMS Beauty powder, however, is pretty much straight silica. It says silica and mica, but it is very heavy on the silica. I'm not the biggest fan of this. I'm going to try and use it a little bit more, see if I can find a way to use it. If not, I do know the perfect person for it, so I will keep it for the moment. My Becca Golden Hour powder. This is very similar to the, like, this looks really scary. Has a very similar effect to the Clarins. You just kind of buff it into the skin, and it has an iridescence to it and a brightening effect to it. It doesn't really leave a lot of colour on the skin, it just peps it up. Again, perfect on more mature skin tones. It's a shame about the packaging, it's a bit of a pain to get open and shut. I have a pressed powder from Laura Mercier. This is the Candle Glow powder. I really love this. It is so radiant. It is super, super nice. I like to use this as like a finisher for super matte foundations. Again, it's kind of like the Sicily Irisy. But if you wanted a bit more of an on-the-go kind of powder, this would be a good one to go to. And then lastly for powders, I have 3 from Guerlain. This one is the Meteorites Traffic powder. Try and say that again. It's the Guerlain Meteorites Travel Powder in Mythic. I've had this for a very long time. I've gotten my enjoyment out of it. I think I got it on clearance as well, so it wasn't that expensive. But yeah, it just made me fall in love with the whole effect of meteorite powder. But I'm going to pass this on now. And I have 2 limited edition ones. This is the Crazy Pearls. These are beautiful to give a topper on a blush. Love, love, love. So I'm going to keep hold of that guy. And then this one is the Pearls the Legend. And these are just the most magnificent sparkly pearls ever. Like, I just love them. I hope the shimmer is it kind of is picking up. It is beautiful. Either using that as a highlight or dusting on someone's shoulder bones. It is fabulous. So I'm getting rid of 7 powders, and it's made quite a bit more room in my little drawer here.